Hello and welcome to It's All About You, the best show about you on the internet. I am B. Dave Walters. What am I now? I'm a writer, I'm a life coach, I'm a talk radio host. And this is episode number 63. We'll call it Catching Up. I think I've already had a Catching Up. No, this should be the return, right? The return. Because I haven't shot one of these in like 6-7 months. Started doing the radio show. The radio show's been phenomenal. When I said in the first episode that I wasn't going to do the video anymore, but now here, 19, I'm about to go live to shoot episode 19. By the time you see this video, number 19 will be done. The show is Rise Up with B. Dave Walters. It's 2 hours, can go into much deeper detail than we can here in the video. This is kind of a great overview. We can kind of look each other in the eye and be like, hey, what's up? But I'm loving the radio because I can go much, much deeper into the topics there. And it broadcasts live Wednesday mornings at 1 a.m. Eastern, no, 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, which is like 9 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, but that varies with daylight savings time. So I've got the episode recordings of the radio show up on my fan page, which is facebook.com/B Dave Walters. Broke 1,000 fans. Good times. So what's been going on with me? And you know, you should see this. I got this like giant stopwatch up on the computer because I always have my stopwatch that I was with. It's like the entire screen is numbers. So if I'm like, that's why you'll know what's up. Okay, so what's been going on with me? A couple things. I'm pretty sure when I shot the last one, my second little girl was born, but I got 2 little girls now, which is fantastic. They're growing. They're great. Doing the radio thing. That's huge. You know, I was breaking into TV and radio. You know, I'm on the radio, one thing down, looking to get into television. You know anybody? I'm teaching at a college now, if you can believe that. I'm teaching business office administration at a small college, so that's really fantastic. I'm really enjoying it, loving life, can't complain. You know me, even if I could complain, I wouldn't. And one other thing, it's a really neat fan page I've been participating on. It's the Jesus and Buddha fan page on Facebook. It's really cool. It's the URL is facebook.com/Jesus and the letter N, Buddha. Really neat, kind of a multi-spiritual thing. You know, I'm kind of a multi-spiritual guy. I love talking about it, love talking about that type of thing. So check out the page. Good stuff happening over there. Now, knowing I was going to do this coming back, last week I had this like whole rant prepared by just kind of, there were these, you know what, I won't even talk about it because now a week later I don't have to rant about it. But there was a group of self-proclaimed spiritual people who were being really hostile and really aggressive and really negative towards the people on the Jesus and Buddha page, and it kind of got me riled up. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to start kind of like a flame war going back and forth. But that is what made me want to pull out my camera to talk about how uncool to each other people have become. And I put out to the people when I knew that I was going to shoot this video today, what did you want me to talk about? I got a couple responses, and so we'll probably talk about a couple things here in the next, I guess 17 or so minutes we got left, because YouTube changed their policy. I don't have to split it anymore, so we can just kind of talk for a few minutes, you know. We'll keep it relatively short, though. So here's the first thing. This is what I want to lay down. Even though I'm not upset about this thing like I once was, it still is kind of on my mind. So this is what I want to leave you with. If you profess yourself to be a believer, whatever you believe yourself to be, if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, pagan, humanist, whatever, I expect people who allegedly believe in something and allegedly hold themselves to a higher standard to be better to people, right? If you find that you're still argumentative and judgmental and aggressive towards other people, then I would say maybe you haven't learned the lessons of your faith as good as you think you have. Maybe you're not this exemplary believer that you think you are. Because I know quite a bit about quite a few faiths in this world. You know, I studied religion in college, and I've kind of made it my thing for about the last 15 years now to learn as much as I can about it. And one thing I'm certain, both from my own personal experience and from what I've learned from most faiths. Look at this, I'm tongue-tied. I'm so upset. is that God wants you to be cool to your fellow human beings. Technically, God sort of wants you to love your fellow human beings. But I think you can probably get by with just being cool and just having basic human dignity and basic respect for another human being and another human being's position. And this doesn't mean that you've got to agree with them, okay? You can be fundamentally opposed, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't show respect to one another. Because here's the thing, if you follow a path that makes you want to convert other people to your path, because believe it or not all religions want converts. In fact, some religions you can't convert into. Either you're born into it or you can't join. Don't know if you know that. Even if you want to convert people, I can tell you for certain, I can tell you as sure as I am the sun is going to rise tomorrow, that having the first words out of your mouth be why everything they believe is wrong and why everything you believe is right is not the way to reach people. It's not. Because I'll let you in on a secret. You may believe that you're 100% justified because of what the Bible says or what the Quran says or what the Gita says or whatever. But the reason why you believe that is because you believe that book is special. To people that don't think what you think, it's just another book. Hate to be the one to tell you that. So, if they think your holy book is just a book, then what are they going to be judging based upon? They're going to be judging based upon you. What you say, what you do, how you live. And if you are a jerk, then they're going to assume your religion is full of jerks. And funny story, for those of us Christians here in the United States, most people who aren't Christians think Christians are jerks. Because of a couple loudmouth Christians making problems for everybody. Same way a lot of people think Muslims are all terrorists. Unfortunately, because a handful of misguided Muslims have done some terrible things in this world. And I can tell you for sure, Allah doesn't want buses full of children blown up and doesn't want buildings full of innocent people knocked down. I can tell you that for certain. So, don't want to go too far into that. I realize I just spent about 5 or 6 minutes, but man, believe me, I was pretty heated about this before. So, be cool to people. If you want people to listen to you, listen to them. It is possible for you to have a dialogue without going to hell because you talked to a heathen sinner that might have thought differently than you do. Because funny story, Jesus kind of spent a lot of time talking to heathen sinners because he's like, these are the people who need me the most. So there's that. So one of the other requests I got was to talk about the power of gratitude. Now, interesting, tonight I'm going to be talking about the law of attraction extensively on the radio. By the time you see this, I suspect the recording of the radio show Rise Up will also be available on my Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/BDaveWalters. Probably where you're seeing this video, but maybe not. Facebook.com/BDaveWalters. There's a note set up with all the recordings. You can listen to the recording there. But here's the thing about gratitude and why gratitude is so powerful. If you are not happy with where you are and with what you've got, you will not be happy with more. And I know you might be thinking, no, that's crazy. If I had $1 million, I'd be very happy. But here's the thing. Everything you've got now, we've talked about this before, but you might need a reminder. Everything you've got now, at one time, was something you really hoped for. The job you've got, you really hoped you were going to get that job. The relationship you've got, the boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you really hoped that person was going to call and go out on another date with you. You might be a little bit over it now, but there was a time that you didn't want anything as bad as them. The car you wanted bad. The house you got, wherever you live, you were like, oh, wow, this is perfect, right? And now, you look at it, a few years later, maybe many, many years later, and maybe some of the glow is worn off of it, right? And so it will be with everything. You can get the bigger house, you can get the nicer car, you can get the better, husband or wife. But the thing is, time is going to pass, and it's going to become old. And if you are not standing in a place of gratitude, if you're not standing in a place of constantly being present to how good you have it and how thankful you are to the universe and to God or your creator or however you conceive of that, if you're not standing in that place of gratitude, then you're just going to start to feel hollow and empty as you start to amass more and more things, right? And then you look around and you're still the dissatisfied person who seems to have everything. Now, where have you seen that before? You seen that on the news? You know? The Hollywood person, you know, the star who still gets into drinking and drugs and self-destruction and does stupid stuff. Maybe the politician that gets stuck doing stupid stuff and ruins themselves. Maybe the minister, you know, gets caught in allegations of sexual impropriety with young men in his church and has to pay $15 million to shut them up like Eddie Long had to do. You know why that is? That's not standing in gratitude. Because here's the thing. Your mind has a comfort level, right, of where your life is supposed to be. You know, T. Harv Eker calls it your wealth thermostat. You know, in Psycho-Cybernetics, Maxwell Maltz, I'm all tongue-tied. I'm not used to being on camera anymore. Maxwell Maltz talks about it being your goal-seeking drive. I mean, he uses a different word for it. It's going to come to me. But that your mind has a place it's comfortable at. Okay? If you want to know where that place of your comfort is, you can look around you. This is it. This is the weight you're comfortable at. This is the lifestyle you're comfortable at. This is the income you're comfortable at. And you might be like, no, I'm not comfortable here. I want so much more. Well, no, you don't. Or at least you don't want that new thing as much as you want the current thing. And I can tell you, because if you did, you'd be working and creating the new thing. Right? So maybe you don't want to get up early or stay up late like you have to. Maybe you don't want to have to work as hard as you'll need to work to create that new thing. But the thing is, if you're not prepared mentally, even if you manage to succeed, even if you manage to make the money, if you manage to find the success, if you manage to break through to the next level, you will find a way to bring yourself back to where you are right now. That is why 97% of millionaire or lottery winners are broke again after 3 years. Because they don't think like millionaires. They think like people that make 30 grand a year. And then suddenly they have access to these infinite resources, and what do? A lot of stupid stuff. Go out and buy gold-plated jets and stuff and blow all their money on foolishness. And they return themselves to the place where they were comfortable. Now notice when I say comfortable, I didn't say happy. I said comfortable. Comfortable. Because by the same token, if I were to take you right now and put you out on the street, chances are you'd find a way to get back into a house. Maybe not tonight, it might take you a week or so, but you wouldn't instantly just kind of become a career homeless person. Because that is not where you're comfortable either. I mean, you're used to this, right? So you wouldn't necessarily live in a, trailer park with no windows, right? Living on macaroni and cheese and Busch beer. That might not be you, right? But by the same token, you can't reasonably expect to live on filet mignon and caviar either. Until you can start changing that perception. You can start changing your self-image of both how you see yourself and relate to your surroundings. And the foundation of that is gratitude. And being truly, 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 from the bottom of your heart and soul, grateful for who you are and what you've got, even as you work to create more. That's the challenge. I was just explaining this to someone tonight when we were talking about the law of attraction, because I was, formulating my thoughts about what we're going to talk about tonight, because I've written and talked about the law of attraction a few times now, and yet there's still more to say about it. And I was saying the challenge is to be able to hold yourself in a space where you can be so incredibly excited about something, so overwhelmed and excited about what's to happen that you just cannot stand it, right? And yet be able to completely let go of it in an instant and completely release that desire and completely accept whatever actually manifests from the universe and whatever is actually sent into your life. And it is not an easy line to walk. It is when you get used to it. It's like anything, it's a habit you form. But really what it takes is an idea that's central to Buddhism, which is really great. And that's non-attachment. We've talked about attachment. Don't be overly committed to things and exactly how things are going to manifest. And this is weird because, I talk about how clear you've got to be. It can't just be I want a new car. It's like I want a brand new black on black Mercedes SL65, right? With the V12 engine. That's what I want, right? And it's important that you have that level of clarity, and yet you still have to be able to be happy. If instead of getting the black on black bands, you get the red bands. Or maybe you get a black on black Porsche, right? Maybe you get a Cadillac, right? Maybe you don't get the car, but you get the money and you decide you'd rather spend the money on something else. You understand what I mean? It can still manifest in many ways, and you still have to be able to stand in gratitude, not only for what manifests in the future, but what is actually taking place right now. Be so overwhelmingly thankful for that Toyota you're driving right now, or that Honda you're driving right now, or that Chevy that you're driving right now. Because I can tell you, there's people in this world that would love to have your car. Okay? You want to know who they are? Next time the bus drives by, look in the windows of the bus. Now, some of those people, they may just be going green or whatever. Maybe they got cars, they just don't want to drive them. But for the most part, anybody who's out walking in the heat, as of now, it's July. If they're standing waiting for the bus in the heat, they're doing it because they have to, not because they want to, for the most part, right? And that person would be thrilled to be able to drive your Chevy Malibu or your Ford Taurus or whatever, right? So you still have to be able to stand in absolute gratitude and truly, from the depths of your heart, thank God for who you are, where you are, and what you've got right now, even as you work to create more. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, since this is our first time back, I'm actually going to cut this off a little bit early, I think. It's because I got to go get ready for the radio show. But hey, I'm back. I'm probably going to shoot these videos every Tuesday night alongside the radio show, because I have to make arrangements for the kids so I can have some quiet, uninterrupted time, and this is really a fantastic time to whip out the camera and do it. So hey, oh yeah, and you know, you can submit questions through a website called FormSpring, F-O-R-M, form like membership form, spring like the season, .me, like me, formspring.me/B Dave Walters. formspring.me/B Dave Walters. You can ask me anything. You can even ask anonymously, and I will either write an article about it on theexaminer.com, I will do a video about it here, or I will talk about it on the radio. Maybe all three if you ask me a good question. So, hey, it's good to see you again, and I promise it will not be so long next time. Gonna go get ready for the radio show. And as always, if you like this video, if you like the radio, if you like past episodes, anything I've done, share it. Put it on your fan page, blast it out on Twitter, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's get the word out. We're over 1,000 fans on the fan page. Next stop's 2,000. You are great, and I love you. Okay, bye-bye.